Next on Worcester News Tonight, fans in the Canal District giving their input on what they want to see in the new Polar Park. Plus, a 9-year-old girl from Spencer is making a big name for herself in the racing world. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. The Pawtucket Red Sox have begun the process of listening to fans' ideas for Polar Park. The new ballpark is set to start construction in July of 2019, and the team is looking to give the development as much Worcester flair as possible. And tonight, a meeting with Canal District neighbors started that process. Our Cam Janjo joins us now live with more. Cam?
Anna, PawSox President Dr. Charles Steinberg says they're yet to lay pen to paper when it comes to designing Polar Park, but today, with a fan plan meeting, that process began. And 122 ideas later, the process is just beginning.
What would fans like to see inside Polar Park?
Be able to see the balls go over the wall, maybe have one street where the kids can check.
Anything that's authentic, that speaks to the history.
Neighbors in Worcester's Canal District had the chance to sit down with PawSox President Charles Steinberg to pitch their visions at the very first fan plan meeting.
Could there be a place in the ballpark where we can assemble banners from all of the local high schools and colleges and keep them on display?
A lot of brick, like a brick facade, so a lot of brick in the building.
For 2 hours, ideas were thrown around the room on how to make Polar Park a one-of-a-kind development. Ballpark amenities and traffic were also topics of interest. Steinberg, who had a hand in designing Major League ballparks Camden Yards and Petco Park, says he took a lot from people's input.
As a big new neighbor, we're respecting, understanding, and resonating with an already proud and vibrant neighborhood.
The meeting comes around the same time the PawSox have been interviewing architectural firms to build the stadium. Steinberg says the team is now trying to show appreciation to those welcoming the team into Worcester.
The embrace has been extraordinary. Well, isn't step one of thank you to listen to what people want in their ballpark? It's their ballpark.
Now, tonight's meeting was the first fan plan meeting, and they'll be held all across central Massachusetts. And if you want to submit an idea, you can go onto Polar Park's website, polarpark.com. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. Well, for more than 20 years, the YWCA has been participating in the National Week Without Violence. October 15th to the 19th will mark the annual event this year. The movement aims to end violence against women and girls. This year, the theme is gender-based violences, which recognizes things like domestic violence, sexual assault, trafficking, and harassment. Intervention Services Supervisor Craig Mortley says they're hoping to create a safe space for those impacted.
More people coming in for services, and so that is sort of good. With other social movements around, such as the Me Too movement and others, we're getting sort of more people coming forward or feeling that there is a space that they can come forward to share.
This year, the Week Without Violence coincides with Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Now to a disturbing case out of Auburn. A man is charged with animal cruelty after police say his dog was found dead in the basement. It's unclear how long the dog had been there due to how badly the body was decomposed. And as our Rosalind Flaherty explains, it was another issue that led investigators to this discovery.
A disturbing picture shows where police found the remains of a dog inside an Auburn home. The Lab Husky mix was tied to a pole with a 2.5-foot rope in the basement. Police say the animal was left there for months.
It's disgusting.
The owner of the home, 26-year-old Eric Hannon, is charged with animal cruelty. Police say the discovery came after the Board of Health inspected the home in August. Auburn's animal control officer knew Hannon had a dog named Athena. The dog was microchipped last year after she got loose, and a scan confirmed the dog's identity.
I kind of wondered what was going on because there were so many police officers there.
According to police, Hannon said he left Athena tied to the pole when he went to visit his girlfriend in February of 2018. He told police when he returned home his basement flooded and his dog was dead. He said he wasn't sure if the dog drowned or was electrocuted and was afraid to investigate further. The details leaving neighbors concerned.
I don't understand how any human being could do anything like that. It's deplorable.
Court documents state Hannon was remorseful about the dog's death, but he moved a short time later without taking further action. The documents say due to the high level of decomposition, the cause of death will likely never be determined.
So sad. Like I said, I just don't understand how anyone could do that.
Hannon was arrested over the weekend after failing to appear in court on October 10th. He is scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow. Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The Worcester Commission on Disability celebrates its 40th anniversary tonight at City Hall. The commission was founded in 1978 to make the city more accessible for people with all types of disabilities. Tonight they had a panel discussion with current and future issues, as well as disability advocates with educational tables set up. In honor of the anniversary, they're also reflecting on their recent achievements.
Some of the most important accomplishments are accessibility to restaurants and all public buildings. This summer we just did accessibility to all Worcester public schools and curb cutouts throughout the city.
The commission says there are many goals going forward, including completing city restaurant audits to make sure they're accessible. A 9-year-old girl from Spencer is making a big name for herself in the racing world. Madelyn Wilson has overcome the odds to pursue her passion for racing. Madelyn Wilson is a 4th grader by day. On nights and weekends, she's a competitive racer.
Maddie, go get him, right down the middle, right down the middle.
She's only 9 years old and already has 4 years of racing under her belt. The dream first began when her parents brought her to see the Boston Marathon.
I saw all the wheelchairs racing in the Boston Marathon, and I was telling my mom and dad, I want a racing wheelchair, and so for my 5th birthday, I finally was able to get one, and so then I've been racing ever since.
Wilson was born with spina bifida. She's unable to use her legs, but the diagnosis has not slowed her down.
She'll do 4 or 5 track meets, and then I would say we do 1 or 2 5Ks a month. Probably. So, and the other weekends we'll train 1 or 2 days a week on the track.
Carl Wilson says his daughter is not only competing, but winning and improving with each race. She recently won the Reebok Boston 10K for women, won the gold medal in the 1600, the 200, the 400, and the 800 meter nationally, and completed the Falmouth Road Race in 1 hour and 13 seconds. Her success has inspired many, including her younger sister Abigail.
One day I want to be run with her in a race, and I want to try to beat her, stay with her the whole race.
It's a proud dad seeing her, and the fact that she's not afraid to try anything, she's got that fire in her belly to do stuff is nice to watch.
Wilson has a piece of advice for others who want to follow in her tracks.
Go fast.
Now, Madelyn drew a photo when she was just 6 years old, saying, I have a dream that I'll win the Boston Marathon. That dream remains true today. Madelyn says when she's 18, she wants to not only race in the Boston Marathon, but win it. And watching her race around that track today, I have no doubt that will become a reality. Well, switching gears now, every child born or adopted in Massachusetts will be eligible for a free $50 deposit into a college savings account. The state treasurer announced the statewide program will take effect in January 2020. Parents and guardians will be able to open a U-Fund 529 college savings account and receive the $50 deposit through the Massachusetts Educational Financing Authority.
That when kids, even a small amount of money set aside, are 3 times more likely to go to college and 4 times more likely to graduate from college. And that's what this is all about.
This program originally started in 2015 as a pilot program in Worcester and Monson, designed to empower families to plan and save for their child's future. Worcester's Board of Health is looking at new ways to educate students about what can sometimes be an uncomfortable topic. The public school system's sex ed curriculum is expected to change and be more in-depth. Our Brittany Schaefer has the story.
The Worcester Board of Health votes in support of a comprehensive sexual education curriculum in the Worcester public schools. The city's Commissioner of Health and Human Services says what's being taught now isn't enough.
It's not sufficient. It's not recommended for all age levels. Since there's no set curriculum, each teacher picks what they want to teach, and so They can teach anything that they feel comfortable with.
According to the Centers for Disease and Control, comprehensive sexual education works. Research shows there is a 12% decrease in sexual activity and a 31% decrease in sexually transmitted infections.
Outcomes aren't good if it's just abstinence alone. So we look at things like having healthy relationships, how to give consent and how not to give consent. Then we have a whole LGBTQ community that really needs to also access sex education.
But the school administration's proposed plan received backlash.
We took a look at it and people passed it to friends or other groups and so on. And at that time, there were people that had some pushback on it.
It's why the school committee voted down the program last month. Member Diana Biancaria says it needs more fine-tuning before it's introduced in the schools.
Let's take the book back. Let's figure out how we have to work to ensure that there are some educational pieces in there that are necessary and some pieces that perhaps needed to be eliminated. Holding off on it, I don't think is going to create any havoc in our schools.
But Dr. Maddie Castile says now is the time to act to protect school-age children.
I think it's time, and it's been time for a number of years, that we should be doing this.
Biancaria says the proposal will be brought up during Thursday's committee meeting, and she hopes the curriculum will be introduced next semester. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.